looking at a guy like Chris Getzlaff, who's kind of been in a bit of a slump, what do you tell a receiver like that?
Oh, well, the one thing about it is there's been some tough catches that he hadn't made. Slump is a tough word. I think he's working himself to learn how to be an all-star, and an all-star makes each and every catch. And I think that's what he's trying to do. He knows what he needs to correct, and he's told it to myself, and he knows. So at the end of the day, it's not about what I can say to them, it's what they can say to me.
You have Heenan and Best sort of alternating at guard. Are you just trying to decide which way you're going to go with that position?
Well, the thing about it is anytime a guy comes back, I don't care at what position, you really want to work that guy in, because anytime there's an injury, you don't want to put so much stress on it right now. So, it's still working best in, and I think when they're both at 100%, then we have to make a decision on who's doing what. But right now, I like the rotation, or I like having that depth at that position.
How nice is it that Jay Alford has come back to you guys?
Well, that's awesome. It's an awesome deal for him to come back. If he'd have came to us early in camp and he'd have been in shape, he'd have made this team. And one of the things we told him when we released him is go home and get in shape. And, we'll give you a call back. He's been a guy that was always on our minds and on our list. So it just happened at the right time.
It says something about him being serious about coming back when he works out and, gives you guys the call to come back. It's not like you think this is just sort of a charade for him.
No, he's a pro. He's a professional. And for him to have been on a championship team at a high level, he knows what it takes. He's also been with Coach Coughlin, who's a disciplinarian and a very professional person. So I know that he knows what it is to be a pro. And like I say, he came back in good shape and ready to see him go.
Why is he back? Is that a sign of any dissatisfaction of the defensive line? I noticed you taking some time with them today yourself.
I'm the new assistant D-line coach. That's with me. I have to work. And right now that's the area that I want to work in. And it's not so much dissatisfaction. We know right now that this game starts up front on both sides. If you look, when we look down at the O-line, there's two coaches. So I decided to put two coaches down at the P-line because it starts up front.
So is Alfred, though, coming back just one of those things where you want to push some of these guys?
Nah, well, I always want to push him, but he's the guy that we needed some extra depth. We needed some things, and we wanted to get some good rotation going, and and instead of us going to look outside for different positions, sometimes we have what we need in house. So we just wanted to add one or two more guys to the mix.
Does that mean Heenan will go on against the Eskimos? He's still going to start Heenan at right guard?
Well, to this point, like I said, those guys are rotating, and unless something goes a little bit different, I don't know which guy get to start. But I'm not interested in the start because start to me is one play. The next play you could be out. It's just both guys will play.
Some people look at the secondary breakdowns late in the fourth quarters, the last couple of games. But how much maybe is it the D-line not getting enough pressure?
No, it ties in both. The secondary, if they're tight coverage, then the D-line gets there. If the D-line gets there, then you don't need as tight of coverage. So it's about us. If you look at all of our games, the ones that we lost or the ones that we won, the area for improvement is there, and it's simply just a 1 or 2 little inches that we just got to make sure that we learn how to tie everything together. When we send pressure, we got to make sure that the coverage depth of the DBs or where we need to be versus what pressure we're sending.
You said a lot about focus following the last loss to Hamilton in the fourth quarter. How can you teach focus?
Yeah, focus is something that's always can be taught, but it's not something you teach in a day. It's a process, and I think that the guys are learning. It's not one of those things to where guys aren't focused. It's not like they're playing in the stands or sitting there counting and sheep or something on the sideline. It's football, and it's a very young team on both sides, and we just have to teach them what the CFL is, that it's going to take 60 minutes.
Have you liked what you've seen since they've returned, at least as far as mentally and staying with them?
Oh, this is my team. I like what we had before we left, and how we fought back in some situations, but definitely what I'm seeing now. This is a team that works, and I just told them a few minutes ago. I'm proud of the work that they put in day 1, day 2, the focus that's there. Anytime after a break, whether it's coming back to training camp, you're always a little bit more focused. After a bye week, you're always a little bit more focused. So, they'll be focused. We just have to make sure it materializes into a win.
Tristan Jackson's status, is there an update on him? You look like you addressed him a little bit more.
Tristan is a guy that he'll be the returner, and we got enough guys in here to where, I want fresh legs as the returner. That's the way it has to be. If he goes 129 a couple of times, I want fresh legs, so we're just making sure he's fresh.
Do you feel you're getting close again to that depth chart you wanted after training camp?
Oh yeah. We're getting the depth. Like I said, we're solid across the board in my mind. I think we've added some things over the bye week that puts us to where we need to be, and I think hopefully at this point, barring injury or anything else, these are the guys that'll be here.
Will this be a defensive struggle against Edmonton on Friday?
You know, they have a very good defense, and their offense is starting to click now. They're starting to get Fred the ball a little bit more. I can't predict whether it's an offensive or defensive struggle. You know, I'm just hoping to come out of it with a win, and that, you know, each in every area of our team plays at a high level.
Where's Eddie Russ as he makes his way back to the roster after an injury, having to cover guys like Stamps and Simon and things like that in his career?
Well, you know, that's good for him. You know, he didn't play as much last year. Now you look at his play this year, you know, that he's playing pretty good before the injury, and you just have to make sure that you continue to talk to him about being technique sound with a little bit of bumps and bruises, but he's done a good job thus far this year.
Rob Bag is out here with not even on crutches. Like, did he have surgery?
Rob is Superman. That's all I can tell you. He's had surgery and he's Superman. You know, he's a phenom. But Rob is a very tough guy. He works hard. He's working hard in the rehab room to, you know, just to get himself back to where he needs to be.
You've been in this league a long time. Remember back in the day, knee surgery was out for the big guy be on crutches and the big.
I'll tell you what, those guys, a lot of guys probably would still be, you know, but Rob has a very strong mind, and that's the one thing I can say about him, that, you know, his physical build, he's strong, and his mental build, he's strong. So he'll go a long way in his life.
When you drafted Sam Hurl, were you expecting him to be leading the league in special teams tackles at this point?
I did. Next question. All right, thanks, guys.